Okay, we will start. So today is a very short session on how to calculate the baseline carbon dioxide level in a patient who has come with acute and chronic CO2 retention. Means what is actually the baseline PCO2 of a patient who has come to your ER and ICU with a very high PCO2 level, somewhere around 70s, 80s, 90s, and if you see the blood gas level, everybody is scared how so much PCO2 level has raised. But at times, even at 70 PCO2 level, the patient remains conscious and fully alert. So, in a patient who is a known case of COPD or may not be known case of COPD, but from ABG you can analyze that he is a CO2 retainer or not. How to calculate what is the acute component in this whole PCO2 level and how much is the chronic component. So, you have to correct only that acute component, not that chronic component to normalize the pH. So, pH range is 7.35 to 7.45. PCO2 is also 35 to 45. Now, any PCO2 level above 45 can be either acute or can be either chronic or acute on chronic. Why acute on chronic? Because the lung surges very fast, kidney takes time to recover. That's why. In acute change, always remember, every 10 PCO2 change in either direction, whether it goes up or whether it goes down, every 10 PCO2 change in either direction will cause a change of 0.08 in the pH. Suppose if the PCO2 goes up, so it's the acidosis part, respiratory acidosis part. So if acutely a pH changes, a carbon dioxide changes from 40 to 50, so it will change the pH from 0.08 in the downward direction. Means in respiratory acidosis, pH should fall down below 7.35. So how much will be the change? 0.08. Suppose if your PCO2 level changes from 40 to 50, so how much pH will change? PCO2 increase, the pH will fall, it will fall by 0.08. So this concept you need to understand, that any acute change in the PCO2 level of 10 changes the pH by 0.08 in respective direction. So when we will see the PCO2 level in a patient, we need to see the pH, how much pH has dropped from 7.4. And then you can make out the difference, that my pH has dropped by 0.16, means 2 times 0.08. So 20 PCO2 is the acute component which is there in the total PCO2 level of this patient. For example, those who are weaned, we will solve one blood gas which is in our ICU. The patient is at present in the ICU. We will solve his blood gas. So you got to know what is acute component and what is the chronic component. I am giving you a hypothetical example. Suppose pH is 7.24. 7.24 and your PCO2 level is 70. Okay. Now this PCO2 is definitely above 35 to 45. It's respiratory acidosis. Now see how much pH has changed from 7.40 to 4. How much it is in 16. So this 0.16, it is changed by twice times. Means if we divide this by 0.08, it will come twice. So 2 times the pH has dropped. Means 2 times PCO2 has changed by 10 and 10. So 20 PCO2 level is the acute change. Out of the 70, 20 means if we subtract 70 minus 20, 50 is the baseline PCO2 of this patient. It is the chronic component, and 20 is the acute component. You got this point?
Yes, sir.
Understand this point? So never get panicked by just seeing the PCO2 level. Whenever you see a rising PCO2 level, always check the pH. At times your PCO2 may be 60, but pH is normal. No need to worry in this patient. At times there may PCO2 may be high, 94, 96, 100, but pH is somewhere around 7.2. So there is acute component which has caused the PCO2 drop to that level. You have to calculate the acute component. You have to target that component only, not the chronic one. Now we'll switch the camera on the desk and we'll solve it. Actual ABG of a patient. Dr. Benjamin is with me and he is going to solve that. Okay. So now we'll see a ABG of a patient who is in ICU, who presented with acute respiratory acidosis as per the ward. His PCO2 level was raised. So we'll now calculate how much is the acute and how much is the chronic. Dr. Benjamin?
Okay. So his PCO2, as you can see,
as we are only concerned about the PCO2 calculation in this blood gas, we are skipping the oxygenation part.
So his PCO2, as you can see in the ABG, is 98.2 and his pH is 7.204.
So whenever you see a raised PCO2 respiratory acidosis along with drop in the pH, first calculate the drop in the pH. How much the pH is dropped from 7.4?
So the change in pH is 7.4 minus 7.204, which will be around 0.2.
So 0.2 is the pH has changed. Now how many times of 0.08 this 0.2 has changed? We will divide 0.2 divided by 0.08. It comes around 2.5. So 2.5 into 10. 10 because for every 0.08 drop in the pH, PCO2 changes by 10. So the acute change is 25. Means 25 mm partial pressure of CO2 is the change acute in this blood gas. So we'll subtract 25 from 98, and which will give us the baseline PCO2 level, the chronic component. 98.2 minus 25, it comes around 73.2. So around 70 means around 70 is the baseline PCO2 of this patient. We don't need to chase to up to 45 or 40. We know that this is the chronic component and this was the acute component. We have to target our BiPAP or ventilate setting so that his PCO2 levels are maintained around somewhere around 70. Now we will see the blood gas of this same patient after BiPAP or 6 hours. You can see the PCO2 has come to 74 and his pH has started normalizing 7.305. So this way you can calculate acute and chronic PCO2 patient, how much is the acute component and how much is the chronic component. Thank you, Dr. Benjamin.
Right, thank you.
So now you have seen how to calculate the baseline PCO2 level in a patient who presented with acute and chronic COPD or who has a chronic CO2 retainer. So how much is the acute component, how much is the chronic component? You have to target only the acute component. You need to understand what is the PCO2 level. That way you can adjust your ventilator setting, your BiPAP settings, and you will not be scared by looking at the PCO2. Thank you, Dr. Benjamin, for the help. Okay.